This morning, I saw the police embarking upon a motor operation at OEB. And whenever I see such motorbike operations, I call it a fundraising exercise. And personally, I've stopped warning riders that, hey, there's a motorbike operation going on, because I think that it is a careless move for you to be a motor rider and then fail to have the necessary documents you need in order to ride a motorbike in town. So at first, when I see a motorbike operation going on or a fundraising exercise going on, I will explain why it's a fundraising exercise. When I see such a thing, I usually post on Facebook and I warn other riders that, look, there's a motorbike operation going on at this place, at so and so place, so avoid that route. But at a point, I stopped doing that because I think that as a rider, you need to be responsible enough to spend a fraction of the amount you use to buy the motorbike to acquire the necessary documentation. The first time I was stopped by the police and my bike was impounded was somewhere around 2018. And mind you, I've been riding a motorbike in Accra since 2018. And it was at the National Theatre traffic light. And then they just turned off the ignition and took my key away. And then a police officer came for the bike, rode it straight to the ministry's police station. And that was the first time I had my experience with the police when it comes to motorbike operations. So you see them very serious, arresting motor riders, impounding the bike, checking documents. No, it's all a farce. I mean, it's all a show just to extort money from riders. That's what it is. If riders will be very honest and truthful, that's what happens. I remember that day in 2018 when they impounded my bike. They took us to the ministry's police station. It was actually a pregnant woman who was sitting behind a desk extorting money from us. You either pay or they take you to court. No receipt, nothing. And in fact, you bargain with them. You come, she will not mention any amount of money. You will mention how much you want to pay depending on what they term the seriousness of your crime. You don't have a rider's license, you don't have insurance, your money will definitely be more than somebody who has insurance and then does not have a license, etc., etc. I mean, in fact, they just charge at will. And it was very painful because I was a young businessman trying to survive and I had to go to pay this money. I don't know, they let you go. You don't have insurance, you don't have a license. They take money from you and then they release the motorbike to you for you to go. The second time it happened, it was very terrible for me. I've had many experiences, but the one that made me decide to go get all my documents was at OEB. I was going to work one morning, rushing to work, and then they just crossed me, took my key once again, snatched the motorbike from me, rode it to the OEB police station. And that day, it was crazy. We were many dozens of motorbikes. You go in there, they pretend to be charging you for court, and if you don't want to go to court, then you bargain with them, they charge you some money. And that day, I was actually broke. And these people, I had to bring two riders together. We came together, we raised about 300 cedis, we went to pay them off, and then they gave us our bikes and went away. From there, I went straight to the DVLA to go and acquire licenses. The following day, I had my cover note. Yes, and that was where I enjoyed my riding in Accra. If you really want to enjoy your riding in Accra as a rider, look, the amount of money you need to acquire the necessary documents is just a fraction of the amount of money you use to buy the motorbike anyway. So why allow corrupt police officers to continue to extort money from you? Because I have license, I have insurance, I have my roadworthy intact, I always wear my protective gear, I make sure I don't jump the red light, I'm able to ride to anywhere. Anywhere motorbikes are allowed to pass, I pass there at any time. I ride at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 1 a.m., anytime, and I don't face any problem with anybody. And so when you see these motorbike operations, avoid them if you can. Sometimes when I see them, I avoid them. Although I have everything, they'll just waste your time. Sometimes even when you have all the documents, they will find a reason to just infuriate you. And when you get angry, they can just charge you with anything. That, okay, you verbally assaulted the police officer, you disrespected the police officer, and then you are in trouble. And so these motorbike operations, they're just fundraising exercises. It doesn't lead to anywhere. So as a rider, I think that this 2026, man, don't allow these corrupt guys to continue to extort money from you when you can just spend about 1,000 cedis. Look, insurance is just about 302 cedis now. Yes, insurance 300 cedis, you get insurance. Roadworthy costs less than 100 cedis. Add to that, that's about roughly 400 cedis. And to get a new rider's license, you will not spend more than 500 cedis. So just add all of that. I renewed my license just a few weeks ago, and it cost me just about 400 cedis to renew my license, together with the eye test, everything. So when you have less than 1,000 cedis, you acquire all the documents you need as a rider, and no police officer can extort money from you.